Let's talk about one of the most ambitious clean energy goals on the entire planet, India's. A green revolution of this scale is incredible, but it doesn't come cheap. So today, we're diving into the story of the financial engine that's being tasked with powering this massive transformation.
So just how big are we talking? Well, by 2030, India is aiming for 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel energy capacity. To give you some perspective, that is more than the entire current electricity capacity of Germany and the UK combined. This is, without a doubt, a monumental goal.
And a goal that big, well, it comes with an equally massive price tag. The investment needed is estimated to be a staggering 30 trillion rupees. That's about $1 trillion that has to be poured into infrastructure, transmission, and storage, all by 2030.
Which of course brings us to the central question, right? Where on earth does that kind of money come from? How do you actually mobilize that level of capital to completely reshape an entire nation's energy system?
Well, a huge piece of the answer lies with one very special organization. So let's meet the main character in our story today, the Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. You'll hear it called by its acronym, IREDA.
So what exactly is IREDA? At its core, it's a specialized lender, what's known as a non-banking financial company. But what makes it unique is that it's India's largest institution that is 100% a pure play focused on green financing. Its entire mission is to be the pipeline, channeling money directly into the projects that will get India to its clean energy targets.
Okay, so if you're going to handle trillions of rupees, you need to be seriously credible. And IREDA has absolutely built that reputation. For starters, it has a top-tier AAA domestic credit rating. Think of that like having a perfect credit score. It means it can borrow huge amounts of money much more cheaply. That kind of financial strength helped it earn the prestigious Maharatna status from the government, which gives it a lot more freedom to make bigger, faster investment decisions. It's all built on a solid track record of excellent performance year after year.
So how does this highly credible institution even begin to tackle such a massive job? Well, it all comes down to a really smart, two-pronged strategy. It's about powering today's needs while at the same time fueling tomorrow's breakthroughs.
On one side, you've got what we can call the core engine. This is all about financing the big, proven technologies we know work at scale: solar, wind, hydropower. These are the workhorses that are going to get India to that 500 gigawatt target. But on the other side, there's the future frontier. And here, IREDA is placing its bets on the next wave of green tech. We're talking green hydrogen, electric vehicle infrastructure, and advanced battery storage.
And to execute this strategy, it's expanding its reach in some really clever ways. For those huge, capital-intensive projects like green hydrogen, it's set up a subsidiary in Gift City. This allows it to offer loans in foreign currencies, which can really cut down on cost for those big players. But then, at the complete other end of the spectrum, it's also launching a retail-focused subsidiary. This one's for us, financing things like rooftop solar for homes and helping farmers get solar pumps through the PMKUSM scheme.
Okay, this all sounds fantastic. But it brings us right back to that trillion-dollar question. Where does all this money that IREDA is lending out actually come from?
The answer, in one word, confidence. When IREDA had its initial public offering, its IPO, it was oversubscribed by a mind-boggling 38.5 times. That's not just a successful IPO, that is the market screaming its belief in what IREDA is doing.
And beyond that incredible IPO, IREDA has a whole toolkit for raising funds. It issues special tax-efficient bonds to attract investors here at home. It raises capital from big global institutions, and it also secures massive loans from foreign banks, like a recent 26 billion yen loan from SBI in Tokyo. It's this diversification that ensures there's a steady, reliable flow of capital coming in the door.
So we've seen the strategy, we've seen how they get the cash, but how's it all actually working out? Let's take a look at the scorecard, and that means looking at the impressive wins and some of the real-world challenges they're facing.
This chart right here tells an incredible story about financial discipline. Net non-performing assets, or NPAs, are basically just bad loans. In just 4 years, IREDA managed to slash this number from over 7% all the way down to less than 1%. That is a dramatic improvement, and it's a huge sign of very strong risk management. And that strong management is fueling some pretty jaw-dropping growth. Just look at the difference between fiscal year 23 and 24. The total amount of loans on their books? Up almost 27%. The company's net worth, up over 44%. And profits, they shot up by nearly 45%. These are the kinds of numbers that show an organization firing on all cylinders.
But, it's never a straight line up. There are always headwinds. And a recent challenge was a 36% drop in quarterly net profit. Now, this was mainly because the company had to set aside more money, what's called provisions, to cover potential loan defaults in the future. It's a financially prudent move, but it's costly. And it's a good reminder that even with amazing growth, you always have to manage risk.
But it's not all just about the big numbers and financing deals. At the same time, IREDA is working hard to build a really modern, efficient, and transparent organization from the inside out.
You can actually see this rapid rise in its official status right here. From getting a key upgrade in late 2023 to achieving that coveted Maharatna status in early 2024, the agency is on a clear upward path. And what's the next goal? To achieve the highest possible government enterprise status, Maharatna, by 2030. And this drive for excellence, you can see it everywhere in how they operate. We're talking digital and transparent loan processing, paperless business centers, a modern online portal for customers. And get this, it published its fully audited annual results in a record 19 days, when the regulatory deadline is 60. That's just a huge signal of a culture that values extreme efficiency. And all of this work, from the multi-trillion rupee financing to the digital upgrades, it's all guided by a simple but incredibly powerful two-word motto: energy forever. It just perfectly captures the long-term sustainable vision of this organization. Which leaves us with a final, massive question to think about. India's green transition is one of the most important climate stories happening in the world right now. And while IREDA can't do it all alone, its role as the central financial pillar is undeniable. The question is, can this one agency truly be the catalyst that powers India's entire journey to a net zero future?